Yo, what's going on guys? HyperX here, welcome back to another video for Forspoken, and today I want to bring you some gameplay, some brand new gameplay, and this is separate to the trailer that dropped the other day. Of course, we got the Game Awards trailer, which was super cool. I already spoke about that in a video, but before that, I very kindly got invited to a remote event from the guys over at Square Enix, and basically had a chance to watch a presentation where the narrative team spoke a little bit about the story behind the game, and then they showed us some gameplay, and during that, you get to see HUD, we get to see some abilities, we get to see the world map, the city, and just some general combat stuff. So in this video, I want to basically talk about the stuff that they discussed, the stuff we got shown. This gameplay itself doesn't show everything that we were shown, so I'm still going to speak about a few things that won't necessarily be shown, but it still gives you a good chance to get a feel for the game. It's also worth noting this, of course, is development footage, so, you know, if there's any sort of like frame drops or things like that, they will of course be addressed in due course. But anyway, if you guys do enjoy this, a like would be super appreciated. If you like what you're seeing, definitely let me know in the comments down below. And if you have any questions, also let me know. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss more Forspoken content. But to begin with, the gameplay, of course, kicks off with us in a city that's called Sepul, and it's basically the last standing city in Athia. It's a location that was designed to be where the leaders go to meet, effectively. And now it's looking pretty derelict. But as you can see, it serves as your hub. You can kind of wander around here, interact with NPCs, get quests here, that kind of stuff. We didn't get a in-depth look at like the whole city, so I can't necessarily talk about everything that you can do here because I don't know everything there is. But it is worth mentioning the game does feature things like crafting as an option. You can make potions, upgrade gear, do different things like that. So it's fair to say you will do that in the city. Sometimes when you're exploring the world, you'll also find small sort of shelters or houses. You can use those locations to restore health, and again, from those locations you can also craft. But main thing is, this is your hub town, and then of course you can open up the doors and you can go out into the lands, and this is the land that's basically consumed by the break, which is effectively the stuff that's causing all these monsters to show up and all the dangerous bad stuff that's going on in the world, effectively. So the first thing you of course see is plenty of magical parkour. That is the official term for it in the game, and honestly I love this. I mentioned this in the trailer video, but I just love how fluid the movement looks, and there's plenty of stuff you can do with the magical parkour. It is also something you can upgrade in time as well. So as you play throughout the game, if you want to extend your abilities to parkour, then you will of course need to upgrade that. So right off the bat, you won't necessarily be doing all the fancy stuff you can see, but you can expand on that, hence why we've seen things like surfing on like wind/ice snowboards. Anyway, that aside, magical parkour, dashing over things, vaulting over things, you can even grapple onto things and swing on things. Effectively, it's your way to seamlessly travel across the landscape. Of course, there is a world map you can open up as well, so you can set objective markers, you can see where you want to go, find different missions. There'll be, you know, what I assume will be things like side missions, additional stuff you can get up to. Again, they didn't necessarily specify all the kind of activities we'll be following, but main thing is, as you would expect from a game with a big open map, you can of course, you know, use the map to locate various different objectives. There are some things that looked maybe like dungeons from the icons that I've seen, side quests, treasure chests, different things like that. But then of course, when we jump over to the gameplay itself, this is honestly really cool to see. So you can see when you look at the HUD or the UI, you can of course see in the bottom right hand corner, you have 3 skills primarily mapped to L2, R2 and L2 plus R2 combined, but you also have a spell wheel which you can bring up dynamically on the fly and swap out those skills. So although you may only have access to like 3 straight away on button presses, you will fluidly in combat be swapping between these quite regularly. In fact, you'll be doing it all the time to sort of manage cooldowns, different things like that. You'll see that some abilities will have multiple uses, hence they'll have little sort of dots by them. Other ones will of course be pretty big spells. Spells also fall into different categories. You have things like projectiles, range spells, you have traps, you have various different sort of forms for the elemental abilities. We've seen them sort of take on the forms of swords and spears and other stuff like that. But you then have some really interesting permutations where you have these sort of skill combo setups where you might say put down a trap or like grab things in water and then like rain ice down from above and loads of different things like that. So I'm definitely really excited to sort of see the extent of those skills, see just how many kind of combo permutations you're going to be getting. And of course, in-game you can level up. You can of course also then spend those points on the skill tree. You can unlock different abilities, upgrades, things like that. So of course, you know, progression wise, typical sort of RPG fashion, there'll be things to spec into. Also, on the gear front, the main thing you see Frey wearing throughout the game are, of course, the cloaks. Cloaks do come in different forms. Of course, these will be gear pieces. Again, if you think about traditional RPG, these are the kind of things you'll be pursuing. You'll be pursuing cloaks, necklaces, and also you can paint your nails as well, which is kind of interesting. But basically, the different cloaks you have will carry different attributes, but they will also change the way they look. So, of course, Frey can be wearing different cloaks. Same thing for necklaces, and again, same thing for the fingernails. They'll basically all have different properties that can enhance or change the way that you play. Now, outside of that, one last thing I do want to speak about is something we didn't get to see in this gameplay that was shared, but we did get a glimpse of it at the end of the TGA trailer, and that, of course, is this segment. These are basically called break storms, so when you're walking around the world or you're exploring the world, sometimes you will encounter these like really dangerous storms where, well, surprise, surprise, a storm occurs, and then lots of powerful enemies begin to spawn, including the giant boss-like creature that fires the laser beam and then it goes to the title screen. We got to sort of see some extended gameplay of this. Again, Frey got defeated. They are, of course, designed to be very difficult. Not entirely sure what you get from them if you complete them. I would imagine maybe cool items, good upgrades, that kind of thing, but they're basically designed to be, I suppose the comparison that comes up in my mind is like the Blood Moon in Breath of the Wild, whereby if you're out and about and you get caught in one of these, it's a pretty spicy time. So effectively same kind of thing. Exploring the world, if you get caught in a break storm, then you either want to run away or you need to be prepared for a pretty tough battle. But for the time being, that is pretty much it. That is a look at some gameplay, some brand new gameplay, looking really cool. I honestly do really like the sort of particle effects on some of the moves. Definitely when you're sort of like chaining together water moves and ice moves and thunder and fire and all those kind of things like that. They look super cool in motion. Again, still plenty of stuff I want to see. I want to get a feel for the actual game flow, like what's it like, say, getting a mission, going out and defeating things and coming back. Like what's the sort of narrative structure like? Things like that I do still want to learn more about, but I do like the gameplay in motion, looks super fluid, looks like a lot of fun, so assuming that translates into an enjoyable experience, then I definitely want to see more. Anyway, that's it. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys are thinking, and do keep it locked for plenty more.
Gotcha!
The advantage is ours.
Okay. That's what I like. Got one for ya.
Thanks very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to catch more from us, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our latest uploads. And if you want somewhere to hang out, play games, or chat all things from games to anime, food to fitness, consider joining the HyperX Gaming Discord.